Hey guys, welcome to day 7 in the Visibility Anchor series. We're on the home straight, right? We're slowly starting to descend. I hope you are doing well. I hope you've had a fantastic day so far. And the plans that you had yesterday are. Hey guys, welcome to day 7. That tech doing the most. Right, the plans that you had for yesterday are actually happening today. I can see that my tech is working. I thought I would do the check myself this morning to just speed things along, right? So let's get into the content. I'm going to be talking to you today about collaborations and how that could be used as one of your visibility anchors. So I've been going live over the past, well, it's seven working days, sharing with you strategies that I believe you should be leveraging as a solo business owner to get more visible, right? So there are 10 visibility anchors in total. So we're on day 7. Tomorrow I will do day 8, and then on Friday I'll do 2. So you'll get 9 and 10 all in one day. So definitely be sure to stick around. Hey Jackie, good to see you. You're listening only mode today. Okay, perfect. So you're not seeing all of my goodness, all of this. Oh, okay, let's not go down a rabbit hole. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for circling back, right? So Jackie has been one of the consistent crew. So if it's your first time, you are more than welcome to join us. You can watch the replay. So all of the previous anchors will be or are listed in a playlist on YouTube, or you can get to them from the events section on my LinkedIn profile. What are you drinking today? What do you have? What's in your cup? I'm on coffee again. Coffee. And my coffee, I've got like a really nice caramel coffee. So it's, a little bit sweet. But let's get into it. Let us get into all of the stuff that I have to show. And I've actually created an infographic for you guys as well. So Jackie, I know that you are on listening only mode. So circle back and see that particular infographic that I've created. So let's jump into what I want to share all around collaborations. And I'll be honest with you, most people or most women, because I can speak to the female experience, right? Because for the most part, I'm working with female entrepreneurs. And guys, if I say anything and it resonates or something comes up for you, drop it into the comments. I'll be checking that periodically. And then any questions, I'll hoover them up at the end, because I do get easily distracted, right? So collaboration is an asset that many people are not leveraging, right? And if I'm honest with you, I think it's like the fuel that you could pour, the gasoline, the petrol, whatever the term that you want to use, that you could pour onto your visibility to really get some momentum, to get eyes on what you do, on your thought leadership, on your body of work, leveraging other people's audiences, networks by collaborating is something that I'm going to be banging the drum for in this particular anchor, right? And most people don't tend to talk about it. It's not something that is openly spoken about. But if you actually watch the big names, right, and see what they are doing, not what they're saying, right, you'll see this strategy everywhere. The Jasmine Stars, Myron Golden, Russell Brunson, Mel Robbins, even Stephen Bartlett, right? They are constantly partnering and they're showing up in each other's worlds. They share audiences, they're teaching for each other's communities, they interview each other, right? They have joint content. leverage each other's email list. They're doing all the things, sharing the space and the room together. And there's a whole rabbit hole I could go down as to why certain communities do not do that. And that, I think, is a whole different live and a whole different conversation that I'm happy to have, right? Another time, because today is purely on the reasons why you absolutely should be leveraging collaboration. I don't think it's a nice to have. I think in this day and age, it's necessary for us to partner together, for us to work collectively. Let me know, have you noticed others, whether in your industry or marketers, collaborating, maybe people you know, you're seeing them partnering together? Um, Question one, but question two, have you ever collaborated? Is it something that you have done? I pulled the cup up and got nowhere with it. Let me know, drop in the comments. Right, because I think many of us overlook collaborations. And to be fair with you, the women that I work with, whenever I mention collaborations, and these are midlife women who are transitioning out of long careers, right? So they are used to the corporate space, but not the entrepreneurial space. And in their mind, they believe that they have to earn the right to collaborate, right? They think that they need a big audience, that they need to be, all bells, all whistles, singing, dancing, uber confident, have more results, right? That's a big thing. Oh, I don't have the results yet. They need their business to be polished, all the tools, all the things, or they just need to be in the game for longer. And I don't know if any of this has come across your mind and you thought, I would love to, but, and then fill in the gap with what that but looks like. I'm laughing because I'm just reminded of Tony Robbins. He said, if you keep saying but, it often means you got a big one, which I thought was quite funny. Rabbit hole again. But when you stay stuck in those limiting beliefs, those limiting thoughts, you don't even try. You don't even reach out. You're thinking, you know what? I don't want to bother people. Why would they want to partner with me? I need to get myself together. I need to be more established. But I think here's the real talk, right? Collaboration is how you become established, right? It's one of the critical ways, I would say, for establishing yourself as a solopreneur and new to this entrepreneurial space. I really feel like it's a shortcut, right? So it collapses time. That's what collaborating allows you to do, right? So for me, visibility isn't about the dancing, the singing, using trending audios, all those things, but it's about showing up online every day, right? So that when you are reaching out to collaborate with individuals, they know what you're about. They've seen you, right? You've gone through the other visibility anchors, and the way in which you are stewarding your own platform, your own audience is compelling and attractive to somebody else that you're reaching out to. So think about that, right? Before you reach out to collaborate, how are you showing up on your own platform, on your own stage, before you reach out for somebody else to collaborate with? And if you're doing all of those things, right? If you are leveraging the anchors that we've spoken about, then chances are the right person, and we'll get into that, is going to be inclined to collaborate with you. I know for me, I grew up in a environment where the message was almost like, you can't rely on anyone else. You just got to get on with it, right? Just put your head down and do the work, handle things yourself, right? So when I got into entrepreneurship, that was how I carried that mindset into the work that I did. But when I started to realize what the successful people were doing, and I'm sure you've heard this, success leaves clues. We want to look for what the successful people are doing and replicate because it's working, right? I noticed that they were collaborating, right? They were speaking in each other's communities, they were co creating content, right? Whereas what we're trying to do it alone, do the thinking alone. You don't even have like a thinking partner, someone to bounce ideas off, right? What often happens then is we sit in like over analyzing, doubting, procrastinating. We're doing all that alone, brainstorming on your own, right? Launching on your own. So it's no wonder that you get fatigued, you don't get the results that you want. You're questioning, does this LinkedIn thing actually work? Does this Instagram thing work? Does this email thing work? Because you're doing the heavy lifting all on your own. Um, Liberate and oh my gosh, my eyes are doing the most. Liberate and lather. Okay, that's a cool name. I found you in a bundle. It worked. Oh my gosh. Right. So I'm just looking over on IG. Thank you for coming in and saying that, because that was one of the things I am going to speak about, how being a part of a bundle is a strategy for your visibility. But we'll get into that. Liberate and lather, you came in at the right time. You were bang on cue. Angie, hey Angie, good to have you join us. So Angie is over on IG. Unfortunately, I cannot bring the comments up from IG, otherwise I would. So I'm streaming Angie on YouTube, LinkedIn, and IG. So I'm like looking across all the screens, right? So yeah, we'll get into bundles and how they work, because they definitely do work. I'm glad that you found me through that that mechanism, right? So it's no wonder visibility feels hard, because we are again, we're putting the superwoman cape on. We're like, I will fix this, woman to the rescue, right? How about a few women come together and do that rescue project? How about that? You don't have to do it alone, right? So let me get into some of the collaboration anchors, what they look like, because it's not that you lack skill or value, but it's just that you haven't been taught how to collaborate strategically. So I said that I created an infographic. So I'm a pull, yeah, multi-streaming. It's the way. Like, go back and watch Anchor One, where I was speaking about choosing your signature platform, right? My signature platform is LinkedIn. However, I use tools to be able to show up in other places. So I'm not doing the most and breaking my head manually, right? I'm leveraging tools to be able to be on multiple platforms at once. I'm repurposing content that I already have. I'm using software that pushes out the content I've created on TikTok into Instagram shorts, right? So that's how you can almost replicate yourself and do it easily. In that live, I spoke about reach, time, cost. Reach is in how many people can you reach, how many people can you get in front of, right? There's like a triangle. My background's in project management, right? So we used to speak about the time, quality, cost thing, right? So we're going to talk about reach, cost, and time, right? You want more reach, but you don't have time. You're going to need to pay. It's going to cost you, right? So pay for the software, pay to stream across multiple platforms, pay to have your content distributed while you sleep, right? Maybe you've got time, but you have no money. So now you need to be your own media channel. You need to be your own distribution platform and be sending links, right? You don't have the money to pay for the tool to do it. So you need to invest what I call sweat equity. This is where you need to do the work, right? And then reach, right? You want more reach, but I don't know, maybe the other bit that's missing is you don't have time, right? So now it's the reach and the money that you need to pair together. So think about that. What one are you missing out of that triangle? something to think about. Not part of this live, but for some reason I felt led to share it again. But let me go on to, so Liberate and Lava said, reach, time, and cost. I need that badly. Yeah, and sometimes like we can't have it all in an ideal world, right? In an ideal world, because even the people with all of the money or supposed time, they pay to like claim back their time. So they pay for people or tools to do the legwork so they can buy back time. Right, so let me show you the infographic and let me talk through. Let me talk through. Can you guys see that? I'm just checking how it looks across the different platforms. Can you guys see? Or do I need to zoom in? Let me know in the chat. Maybe on IG, it might be a bit small. All right, I'm going to go. And if you guys can't see, shout and let me know. Right. So this is the infographic that I pulled together for. Oh, no need to apologize, Sharon. I've just seen Sharon come in. Hey, sis. Good to see you. You are right on time. You're right on time. Good to see you. So I'm literally talking about collaboration as an anchor for your business. This is a infographic that literally shows you the different, you can see it, amazing. Thanks, Leonora. The different collaboration tactic strategies that you could leverage. And I'm just going to talk briefly to what they look like, right? So you could be a guest in other people's rooms. And by rooms, that is, their communities, their networks, their groups, whatever that looks like. So maybe you host a guest session, or maybe you sit on a panel, deliver a workshop, co-teach something, right? Even if you have a small audience, this is possible, right? It doesn't matter about your audience even. It's about the value that you bring, the insights that you have, the transformation that you can bring to that group of individuals, right? The second thing is audience sharing and partnership. So we've got here swap value with aligned leaders. And that's really important, right? There has to be an alignment with the person that you are wanting to collaborate with. So knowing what your values are, what you stand for, and making sure that there's not a mismatch with the people that you're reaching out to. So it doesn't have to be awkward, right? It doesn't have to be weird and spooky, but reaching out to somebody who I would say is at a similar level to you, or just above. So don't go for the Russell Brunsons and you have just started. That's not sensible, not wise. But sharing an audience gives you instant like trust and credibility, because the people in that audience already trust the, you said to zoom in. All right, let me come back here. Let's move. Let's move some things around. I don't know if I make it full screen, if it makes it any different for you guys. But what I was going to say is you can send me a DM and I can send you this. So guys, feel free to screenshot this. Equally, send me a DM and I can share this with you, right? So instantly, you've got credibility because the audience already trusts the person that has brought you in. They've done the legwork, they've done the hard work, right? So instantly, you've got automatic trust and credibility, right? Number 3, co-creating some content. So maybe you do a joint live with somebody, maybe you record a podcast together, you share like your insights. Maybe you are in the same industry, you serve the same set of people, but you're not competing. So I could go into a women's network, as I have done, and delivered content, right? So there's no like threat that you've come to steal their people, because yes, we serve women, but maybe that person speaks about mindset, right? And I could go in with LinkedIn strategies. So there's no worry or anxiety that you're here to steal their people. Does that make it bigger? Maybe. Sorry, guys, I'm trying all the toggles, all the buttons. That looks slightly bigger, right? Okay, so let's continue. So co-creating together, right? Maybe you reach out to someone and you pitch an idea. Hey, I see what you're doing. I love the work that you do. I would love to collaborate. This is what I'm thinking. I would bring this to the table. This is what you obviously would speak on. So co-creating content, maybe what you do is like a live session together, sharing your framework, they share their frameworks. What you're doing is cross-pollinating in terms of network. So you are getting in front of their network, likewise they're getting in front of yours. Visibility, right? On 100. So something to think about. Podcasting, right? Being a guest on somebody's podcast. And I would say go for like a micro podcast. Like don't try and pitch Stephen Bartlett just yet. Right? I don't know. Maybe you're there. Maybe you can. I know I couldn't. Right. But I'm going to go for a micro podcast. Why? Because those audience are more engaged. The smaller audiences are more, the intimate audiences are more, connected, engaged, plugged in. So I would always encourage going for a smaller audience where you can make a big impact. They're warmer, they're friendlier. So we're not thinking about going viral and getting in front of millions, but thinking of like what podcasts could you approach that have an intimate, friendly, warm audience. Right. So think about that. Number 5 is around voice note networking. And this one is really, I think this is quite an interesting one. So maybe thinking about maybe WhatsApp groups that you are a part of. So not those noisy ones where it's just a lot of link dropping, no one saying anything. You want to be in a group where people, again, are aligned in terms of values. It doesn't have to be a huge, massive group, but a space where you can pass opportunities, you can brainstorm, you can co-create, support each other as you launch your offers, and be like visible together. So you're not alone. Again, in those spaces, you could then decide to go into that person's group, co-create. Maybe you share each other's email lists. But yeah, finding those WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, I would say probably maybe Facebook groups are probably going to be too big. You want a small, intimate. So I would say probably around 15, 20 people max. That's the type of group, because you find those noisy, busy groups, all they do is clog up your memory on your phone with people just sharing, right? And I'm in those and I'm like, oh gosh, this is a lot. But the ones that bring the visibility and the value are the more intimate, niche groups that you could be sending voice notes, right? When people hear your voice, when they're not just reading your WhatsApp message, they're hearing your voice, they're hearing you speak. And what that leads to is like intimate connection, rapport. They start to trust you, they start to feel like they know you. If you could drop a video, even better, into a WhatsApp group. And then a bundle, as Liberate and Lava mentioned, right? A couple minutes back. Getting into a bundle that a contributor, a convener, somebody has decided to set this up to allow other entrepreneurs, creators to be a part of, right? So you can instantly get in front of thousands of people, because what happens is you contribute, whether a free or a paid resource, into this bundle. So you may have a bundle with, I don't know, 150 individuals who have given a free or a paid resource. Each of those 150 people share the bundle with their network, right? So do the math. Depending on the size of their email list, their network, you are instantly getting in front of numbers that you on your own cannot achieve at this moment in time, right? So looking out for those opportunities, reaching out to people and finding out, can I be a part of a bundle? So there's multiple experts within that particular bundle, and we're all contributing. So I had put in a free mini course, right, about creating compelling content on LinkedIn into a bundle. And I think there are probably around about 200 contributors, and the group is about to let 4,000 people into the group. So, even if 10% of those people signed up and they were aligned people, the people you actually want to work with, would that be valuable? Would that be beneficial? Right? So your work gets in front of hundreds, sometimes thousands, without having to hustle, without having to break your head and do all the things, dance, point, jump off crates. We're not doing any of that. Do you guys remember that? There was this trend on TikTok where people were jumping off crates. They would like stack these pallets really high and be jumping off for some odd and strange reason. And for some reason, that's stuck in my head, right? But these are some of the strategies that I believe all business, all solopreneurs especially, should be using. So go ahead, you could screenshot this or just ask me for it and I can send you the PDF. This will be inside the LinkedIn strategy lab a bit later. I'll add it in. Let me know if that was helpful. Let me know which one stood out, which one you're like, yes, that's a bit of me. That is a bit of me. So those were, some strategies, some tactics that you could absolutely leverage. So these kinds of collaborations like take you from I'm posting but nobody is seeing, to getting your content into rooms that you would never have had access to. You'd never been able to reach if not for the group, right? Maybe you're wishing and praying for more followers, but actually what you need is more partners. You need more collaboration partners. You might be thinking, I need to figure this thing out by myself. I'm sure you guys have heard the proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? And I would suggest you aim for going far, right? So inside the LinkedIn Strategy Lab, collaboration is going to be a natural, organic thing that happens, right? Because we're going to be surrounded by people who are moving towards visibility. We're all moving in the same direction with the same intention and goals, right? Same clarity, same strategy. We're using the pathway that I've designed within the LinkedIn Strategy Lab. So I work with clients one-to-one, but the LinkedIn Strategy Lab is a group model where I'm literally like boiling down what I would do with a client one-to-one and delivering that in this kind of group format. So it's not a pod. I spoke about that yesterday. Communities, often when people think about LinkedIn communities, they instantly think, it's an engagement pod. No, it's not. It's not, right? It's not forced engagement. It's not like, you have to comment and you have to like and do all the things with 10 posts by the end of the day or else, right? It's genuine collaboration anchored in all of these visibility strategies that I've been speaking about. So I've mentioned the pathway that we use, really simple, right? So your profile is the bedrock. That's where you need to get started. And there's content and assets for all of the steps in the LinkedIn Strategy Lab. So your profile content is the next thing. People often struggle with knowing what content works. Building a pipeline from LinkedIn so that it isn't just a nice place to be, but it actually has individuals who could become potential clients, right? We need to find those individuals. And then the final step is converting them to paying clients who are happy and excited to pay you for your service and expertise and knowledge, right? So the community is small at the moment. We're like 39 members. There are different tiers, right? So you can join the community for free. Come on in, you're more than welcome, right? And in that, at that level, you're getting access to the community. And I drop a weekly strategy. It just landed today, actually. It's called Work It Wednesday. So every Wednesday, I'll be dropping a strategy for you to put to work, for you to go and do the work, right? The next tier is the premium tier. So they obviously get access to the community and the strategies, but they also get on-demand courses, training, masterclasses, challenges, resources, reviews of their profile. And then the VIP tier gets access to all of the previous two tiers, but they also get one-to-one time with me. So they can book time in my diary. If they need support with, maybe they're launching a campaign, they're launching an offer or publishing a book, we'll map out campaigns for LinkedIn. We're also getting into the other platforms and how, yes, LinkedIn would be your base platform, but now the ancillary platforms around, so the IGs, the TikToks, like how do we leverage those, Pinterest, how do we leverage those as an ecosystem to help you as a business owner? But that's at the VIP level. And, decide based on where you're at, right? Do you just want community and, you could ask a question and I'm going to answer you, but probably not in any great depth, if I'm honest, right? Whereas premium and VIP are getting more access, more proximity, and more support. So decide where you're at and what you need. If you just need resources, premium tier is where you would live. If you need actual one-to-one time and strategies, then VIP is where you'd live, right? So click the link QR code. I had a brain pause for a moment. Click the QR code or scan it. What you can do, if you have another device, you could just scan it with that other device. Also, you could take a screenshot of it. I know my phone, which is an iPhone, if you're not of the iPhone lot, I don't know for you, right? If I take a photo of a QR code and then I hold down the QR code, the photo of the QR code, the link opens for me. So that's another strategy if you do not have another device, right? But let me bring this back to you and to everything that I've been sharing around collaboration as an anchor, right? Collaboration is, I think, something that you definitely should be leveraging. And if you are not, I wonder if it's actually revealing something deeper, right? So you're not scared of visibility per se, but maybe what you're scared of is being seen by other experts, being seen by people in your niche, in your industry. I think in the authority anchor, I was speaking about that nervousness, that anxiety of not knowing it all, being worried that you might be called out, someone might ask a question and, you don't know the answer. And we can't know the answers to everything. It's normal. It's human, right? To have those fears and those anxieties, but it's not a reason to hold back. It's not a reason, because I would imagine somebody with a community who doesn't speak on the topics that you speak on would be so excited to have you in their space. They'd be like, yes, please come, quick, right? Because you're going to free them maybe from a live session. You're going to be able to deliver. They're adding value to their audience, right? So they're getting a perspective from another lens, from another expert, right? So it's a win-win on both sides. And I'm really big on win-wins. Everybody has to win. If you want to collaborate with me, right? If you're not paying, then there has to be uh, a trade-off, a win, so that we both feel like happy with the outcome. We're both coming away content and not feeling as though your boundaries have been crossed, or you've given away too much. So, my loves, let me leave you with a question as we wrap this up. Let me leave you with a question. Which room, which platform, which space do you need to show up in next? And next could be maybe you haven't done it for a while, or maybe it's next as in your next step, right? Who do you need to reach out to in order to make that happen? Who do you need to have a conversation with? And think about maybe having that conversation today, reaching out today. So I'll leave that with you. I will leave that in your court. Take that with you. And let that move you into action, not just reflection, not just listening to me yibber yabbering, but actually do something with what you've heard. So I'm going to check the chat. I'm going to respond to any questions if you guys have dropped any. Tomorrow is day 8, anchor 8, and we're going to be talking about evergreen content and digital assets, right? So day 8 is going to be where you'll start to see how your content can work for you even when you're offline, right? Your videos, your blogs, your podcasts, carousels become, I call them silent workers that build your visibility while you are asleep. So I've got probably around 15 podcasts, not as in 15 podcasts, 15 episodes within my podcast. I do need to start to record some new ones, but those 15 are working. They're getting listens. I get DMs about them, right? So we're going to talk all things evergreen content. I hope that you guys have found this helpful, that you've come away with some insights, some value. Let me just see what questions or comments. So Leonora said, where would you find the right collaborator? Great question. Did you guys hear my stomach rumbling? I hope not. The microphone's right there. My stomach is doing the most. Coffee, what's happening? You're not working. Right. So where would you find the right collaborators? So being intentional with the spaces that you put yourself into, right? So you want to find, as I've said, people that align with your values, with your work ethic even, right? Because you being a part of something or collaborating with somebody who is sometime-ish, they're on, they're off, they're starting, they're stopping, doesn't look good on you. So it's putting yourself in the right spaces. And sometimes we need to pay to be in those spaces. We need to pay to be in those networks, because often when people pay, they pay attention and they're serious. So finding the right communities to be a part of, which goes back to what I was speaking about in Anchor 6, being in the right communities, looking for people who are already collaborating would be a good suggestion, because you can see that they are open to collaborations. Those are the first things that come to mind instantly for what you've just asked. Sharon says, I'm very much up for more collaborations and love the one in your share. Amazing. And what I would say as well, if you want more of something, we need to speak about those things, right? So in your content, messaging is really important. Your seed sowing without being like, hey, can I collaborate with somebody? So maybe, you put a post of a collaboration that you've done previously, speaking about those things that you have done where you've worked with others. Because what you're doing is they call it social selling. You're selling without selling. You're letting people know, right? I collaborate. I have collaborated. Like having a post with an image of maybe you on somebody's podcast. In your about section on LinkedIn, I would have a section that says I'm open to collaborations, and these are the types of collaborations that I consider. Send me a DM. The ones I like most are Sharon said, all of them, all of them. Amazing. Yeah, and don't try and do them all at once, right? But I would build out your visibility plan and the anchor around collaborations. Choose one of those, and maybe for the next 90 days, you are intentional with putting yourself in spaces, with pitching yourself, with going out and networking and speaking to people intentionally. And before you know it, you can tick off, right, I've gone into somebody's community. You can tick off, right, I've been on a podcast. Tick off, I've been part of a bundle. Right. So all of these things create the body of work that we spoke about. My stomach is doing the most. Right. All of this is creating your body of work. Jackie, great session. Shalina, I have plans to approach people for collaborations next. Yes. Love it. Please do. Please do that. I missed a big one from Leonora. Let me go up. Right. I'm thinking that the issue can be trust, as unless you know someone well, and even that can cause problems, there can be a reluctance to proceed. Do you agree that we have to pursue and not let this hold you back, subject to doing checks? Hope that makes sense. Absolutely. We have to do our due diligence. There's a few things, right? So there's what they call the halo effect, right? So just from being on somebody's stage in somebody's space, you get this like glow over you. As I've said, because of the good work they've already done. So that halo effect now lands on you. The reverse is also true, right? So if you collaborate with what I'm going to call a nonsense person, right, that's going to reflect badly on you. Unfortunately, that's just how the world works. So we have to use discernment. We have to be diligent and intentional with who we partner with, doing your research, not hopping into bed too quickly, right? A crass analogy, but you get what I mean. Do the due diligence, get my teeth in, to make sure that it is somebody that you want to partner with, that you're happy for your name to be associated with that individual, because your name and your reputation is very important. And part of this visibility journey, you need to guard that, right? Because if you build a bad reputation, or your name is called into question, that it sticks, right? And it travels with you. So yeah, a collaboration can do really well for you, but equally it can have the reverse effect. So I think that wraps up our session. I've gone massively over. These are meant to be 10 minutes, but yet and still, this one's gone even longer. We have been on for 46 minutes. This was brilliant, Shalina, and thank you for this. And I'm glad I jumped on when the notification popped up. When you see me on, jump on, right? Because these ones have been scheduled. But after the 9-day series, I'm going to just be doing pop-up lives. I'll have something to share. I'm just going to pop up. And maybe I might not even keep it up. I may take it down after it's gone live, repurpose it, use it maybe in a paid offer, use it in a lead magnet. So if you see, turn the notifications on if you're free and you see me, hop on, because I'm always going to be bringing value and sharing insights and reframes to some of the ways of thinking that we have been almost conditioned to have and to think. And sometimes it just takes for someone to be like, hey sis, like there's another way we could do this. And that's what I think I am here for. What time is the session tomorrow? So Jackie, I'm operating on a just-in-time approach. So each morning I'm checking my calendar and I'm deciding based on my day, where's a good time for me to slot these sessions in. So I can't tell you the time just now. But yeah, look out for, I set them up in the morning. So you'll see it on YouTube or you'll see it on LinkedIn. No worries, Sharon. I need to go as well. We got co-working. Ladies in the build room. Hello, somebody. We've got co-working that starts at 1:00. So I need to wrap this up and open that call. Guys, take care. This has been fantastic. I have enjoyed hanging out with you all. Can't wait to be back live tomorrow speaking about evergreen assets and how you can leverage that in your visibility journey. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and look out for me. And one last thing. Those tiers that I mentioned, the pricing, there's a Black Friday offer on the pricing. So from the 1st of December, the price that you see today, you will not see on the 1st of December. The pricing will change. So in this Black Friday period, if you're wanting to upgrade to those particular tiers that I mentioned, now is the time to do that. I mean, you can wait until the 1st of December and pay me more. I'm not averse to that. I'm not gonna stop you, but yeah, consider leveraging the discount and the tools and all the bits that you get for a silly, crazy, ludicrously low and accessible price. With that, I'm going. Take care. I will see you all tomorrow.